Hello everyone, it's Sunday the 29th of December and I've decided to do a bit of a 2019 recap, go through a few of my plans for 2020. I've got a bit of a cough and weird throat, so it sounds a bit odd, but we'll get through this. Now, I finished page 46 of Eternal Promise, and I've had to switch frames around that I'm using. So the frame that this was on, which is the Hearthside Craftworks, I've moved into my upstairs sewing craft room spot, which is the one I use for the weekends. So that's now got Death by Cross Stitch on it. But the good news is that means I can show you where we are. This is the whole thing so far. Yay. Because I work with it scrolled up and because it's on bars, permanently on those bars, I don't unwrap it a lot. So when I do, it's a lovely reminder of how much I've done and how gorgeous the top half is. It's just endless cloak down here, but up there, oh, we've got trees and everything. So we'll just have a quick go through the whole thing. So here we are up here, the frame. I started this 2012. Did I? Something like I didn't work on it much at all until last year, 2018. And I think in 2018 I was I think I'd probably done her face, I hadn't done his. So it took ages to get through that background. I just wasn't working on it much because I work on so many and this one wasn't the focus piece. I think Gamer was at the time, and then Whispers before that. So this one was always kind of shoved to the back of the queue. So in 2018 I decided that I'd focus on it. And I was up here and I decided to do 2 pages at a time. And I got quite a way through the year with that before I got bored with it. I got fed up with, it's a lot of very similar colours. Now, the forest background with all the trees, obviously quite a bit of confetti in there, but it made a change from working on their outfits. It doesn't really look like it because you can see they're different colours in here, but there's a lot of very similar colours and a lot of the same colours in both outfits. So when you're working across that for a few pages, it gets a bit tedious with greens and very pale lavenders, and greys and very pale lavenders. So my eyes needed a break. So then I decided that I would just do 1 page, and I finished off doing that. Then in start of 2019, had a look at my pictures. I was just going on to this page here, and at that point I made the switch and decided that I was just going to work on it for 2 weeks. At the start of every month I was going to do 2 weeks because I knew that would give me enough to do a page. These pages are large format, but it's a paper pattern, not a PDF, so it's a bit, I prefer working from PDFs. I can just move about a lot easier than I can with paper patterns, but that's what I have, so I'm getting on with it. I know with Heaven and Earth Designs you can upgrade your paper copy to a PDF, but this version of the paper copy was the original version before Matt Stewart left Haid and then went back, and when he went back Michelle recharted it. So anyone stitching the versions that are available now on the Heaven and Earth Designs website will get a slightly different version to this. I think she said that there was more detail in Arwen's dress, which would be nice, but I was already halfway through, a good chunk through when he came back on board and that happened. I wasn't going to start again. The dimensions are slightly different as well. I think the new version is a little bit larger than this one. So stuck with the paper pattern, just plodding on through it. And so this year I have completed 15 pages. So in those 2 weeks I'm able to get about a page and a half to a page and 3/4 done. When I work the last, there's 3 pages left to go on this row. So there's 2 full size and a partial, and the partial is about the width of that frame, which is nice, but the frame border on this is where most of the confetti is I've found so far. So I've got a good way through it. This will be finished in 2020 because I've done the workings out. I'm always working out, always constantly recalculating. It's just my brain doesn't stop. So it doesn't look like I have much left to do. I still have 3 pages on this row. I have another full row of 7 pages. And then underneath that there's another 7 pages. Partial pages, I think there's less than 30 rows on that page. Might be 30. It's a lot of it is the frame. So start of the year, and again I'll talk about my 2020 plans at the same time, because in terms of what I'm stitching there's not going to be a lot of difference. I want to carry this on. This is working for me. It's a good enough variety. I'm getting plenty done. I've done 15 pages. That was good. It's less than what I'd done the year before, but doing 2 pages at a time was just too much. That said, once I've got this row finished, I'm going to work the other 2 rows together. So I'll do the first page and work right down to the bottom, because I don't want to leave all that frame border for last, because it's tedious, and because it's not that big and I might as well just get that done. And then if I can get each one done each month in those 2 weeks, if I can do the top and bottom page, then I will know that I'm 6-7 months away from having it finished, which is a really nice feeling. So 2020 plans, this to be finished, and for me to somehow have to try to angle the camera so you can see the whole thing. It's difficult. I love it. I really love the top. The top is my favourite. All the trees and the forest in the background. The colours are awesome. And that's where most of the variety was. Down here, you're going to have all these patches of flowers. So the next row might be a bit more colour changey, which will be nice. So a huge block of black and dark blue in there. That didn't take long to do at all, that page. So 25 count magic guide, stitched 1/1 full crosses. It's the same for most of them, but I'll try and remember to go through as I do. There we go, Eternal Promise, 2020 plan, a finish. Lots of quick swapping so I can switch the projects around and also have a cough in between. So this one, Just Be, and in 2019, after the 2 weeks on Eternal Promise, I had some spare days to finish up anything on Eternal Promise I hadn't done, and then I would do another week, or spend a week or 7 days on those 3. So this is the first one. This is Just Be, and the artwork is by Jeff Haney. And again, it's a Heaven and Earth Designs. This one's being stitched on 25 count easy count. Again, 1/1 full cross stitch. I think everything that I'm going to show you is 1/1 full cross stitch. It's my preferred way of working. So this year I have done 4 pages on this, and although I did go across in a strip, so I've kind of started all of the pages, and that was when I'd worked out how to stitch pages together in Good Reader. It didn't work very well and was a huge drain on memory, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. So yeah, PDF, Good Reader, and then Pattern Keeper came out. I love it. So you'll be able to see, well, not so much on this one because of the way I did it. I had gone down here into the page, but over here this is Pattern Keeper, down into the page, all across into the next one. It joins the whole thing together for you. It's amazing. So I'm terrible, and the reason I don't do it on Eternal Promise, I am terrible at lining up one page with another. I have to do it on Death by Cross Stitch. I don't know how I manage it. I don't do it very well. I even tried to mark the pattern so I know which row's which. I tried that on Death by Cross Stitch yesterday. I put a dot in the wrong place. My brain does not like working across pages. So I don't. I work 2 pages. And not struggled with noticeable lines that I've noticed. So I'm okay with that. But now I don't need to, as long as I've got a PDF. So I have completed 4 pages on this year, which I think takes us from this page all the way across. I think this one's 6 pages wide, 6 pages narrow one. So he got his sunglasses. I love it. There are some bits of sparkly thread in here. I don't think it will pick them up. But you can see his eye through the lens. It's amazing. I love the texture of his fur. It just makes me smile working on this one. This, again, isn't that far from a finish. I've got this row to finish off, and then, surprise, another 2 rows. I think there's fewer pages left to do on this than on Eternal Promise. But, Eternal Promise, get that one done first. So, this, I've got 3 that I switch out for the 3rd-ish week of the month. This one is January. So, yeah, he'll be out next. And I'm looking forward to it. Should be able to get this page finished, and maybe, because I think there's loads of colour changing in the frames. It's like, see these little beads that you stitch that are so many different colours, but it's effective. It's just, you get the same on the Spangler designs. On the books, a lot of the books have gems on them, and those stones take ages to stitch because you're just changing colour. So there might be a bit of confetti left, but then I think we're mostly onto the sky background. So if that's the case, I should be able to get through that. This whisker, little whisker curling. So again, this is going to be same as last year for the 3rd-ish week. For 1 week, I'll work on this. So it gets worked on 4 times a year. It's 4 times a year, and it's probably less than that because this one because I had to take a break this year with all the work going on, and I couldn't get things out properly, and they had to be put away for their own safekeeping. So I think I've actually only worked on each of these 3 times this year instead of the 4. So 4 pages complete. I'm really happy with that. I think this wasn't too bad for confetti and the lenses. The frames are a nightmare, not too bad. I enjoy it. I enjoy it more than blocks. So, Just Be coming out in January, And once I've finished Eternal Promise, I'll see where I am on that, and I might switch this out for whatever remaining 2-week months there are for the rest of 2020. This is probably my next get it finished focus once I've done Eternal Promise. And next one, it was part of the 3-switch rotation. This is Trick or Treat, artwork by Randall Spangler. Heaven and Earth designs again. Bit of a theme so far. So I stitched this on 28 count easy count fabric. I don't like it as much as a 25 count because it's a bit springier. It's a bit, I really mustn't tighten the quantum frames too much because it's a bit stretchy and bouncy. The holes are fairly big though. The holes are bigger than Monaco, but I prefer Monaco. It's a tougher fabric. This is stretchy, but it's gridded, so it's okay. It's not all that bad. I just noticed when I'm switching from one to the other, you can really tell the difference. So, this is the last page that I finished. And this year I have completed 3 pages. So I had that one done. So 3. There's 4 completed there now. This one is the confetti heavy one. So all these leaves, so many. But I finally got a part of the house in. Getting the roof, lots of colour changes. Little cat thing on the roof. Pediment. Possibly. Not very good on architecture. He's nice, so again, this is going to stay on the 1 week every 3 months. So this is February's one, which means I don't actually stitch it at Halloween. I stitch it in November. Because timing's everything, right? But it's going to take ages to get down to the trick-or-treaters. This is huge. This was before they did supersize. And it came out, and in total it is 90 pages. One of the dimensions isn't far off of 999 stitches, so it is almost supersize. It's probably as much supersize as I'm ever going to do. I know you get a finer detail picture, but I like switching between things too much. And I already feel bad that I've done so little on this and there's so much to do. I don't want another one like that. But it's going to look amazing. Anyway, when this came out and people saw the dimensions in 90 pages, I was saying it was too big, and now we have supersize coming out of our ears. And I think people would do bigger if they could. But for me, this is enough. There's not really a lot to talk about. 3 pages done this year. Another 3 next year would be nice. Even 4 times on this, 3 pages would probably be about as much as I could do. I don't know if I'd get that done. I think this page isn't too bad. There should be a moon soon, so that would... It's just to get through all of the confetti on the leaves. And again, pattern keeper lines. Just use my thread up. I go all over the shop now. It's good. So, there we go. That is Trick or Treat. 1/1, 28 count, easy count. 3 pages done, and same again next year. And the next one. This was the final of the 3 that I switched between. And this is the one that I have just done a page finish on. So this is a little light reading. It's a Randall Spangler design. I love stitching his dragons. They're cute. They make me happy. This one I might put in the bedroom because he's reading underneath the covers, using a mobile phone as a light to read the book. I used to sneak my light on and read after I should have gone to sleep when I was little. I loved doing that. So it's going in the bedroom because that's where you read under the covers, isn't it? So I'm doing diagonal, but not diagonal stitches. I'm working the pages, doing diagonal pages, because the top row is this, all the way across. And I think cream is my least favourite colour to work with. I don't like it. Cream, it's like, meh. When we first bought our house, everything was painted magnolia. And it's probably that. Everything magnolia. I mean, it's a nice neutral colour, but it wasn't what I liked. So we painted everything as quickly as we could. And this year we've been around and had everything painted again. And I've used lots of neutral greys. Not cream though, it's grey. Different shades. So, 3 pages, mostly cream and oranges and browns. So technically I finished all 3 pages this year. I started this on Christmas Day in 2018. It was my Christmas present. I got the material pack for Christmas, so I started straight away because that's what you do. I finished the first page at the beginning of the year, and then the other 2 pages. So I kind of divided the picture up into the grid thing, and saw that, oh, if I come down to this page, I get to stitch a bit of dragon. So, oops, go this way. There we go. Dragon. Dragon tail, not quite dragon butt. So when I come back to this one, which will be my March project, back up to the top. And yeah, I switched to Pattern Keeper at the end of this page, which is why so much has gone down. And on this page, so much has gone across. I was just filling in all this, so I've actually done quite a bit that page. But back here, this one's going to be good because look, tail, more dragon. And so this one is on 25 count easy count fabric, stitched 1 over 1 full cross using a Heaven and Earth Designs material pack. Anything else with this one? No, 3 pages completed. Same as Trick or Treat. This is much easier to stitch than Trick or Treat, so in the 4 turns of the rotation I might get, well, 3 pages done, maybe started on the 4th, which will actually be nice to get the 3 done because that's another diagonal of the pages, and the 4th I'll be starting back at the top again. Nice target to aim for. A stitch in time. At the start of 2019, this was a UFO. I think I was on this page. I don't think I'd finished it. Maybe I'd finished it. According to my notes, I have stitched 4 pages on this year. I don't know. This one has been put in UFO twice and come out of UFO twice. Plan is it stays out now, so 2020 plan, finally something different. Last year, for the last week of the month, I stitched on Moon Sweet Moon by Passion Ricamo, and I didn't think it would take me as long as it did, but it took me all year. It was put away for a chunk of time, and that's when this came out. So when the other 3 that I've just showed you, when They were put away. I had this out because at the time it was on key snaps, which is why it's all crinkled and untidy and stretched in places more than others. It'll be fine. It all evens. It's on the quantum bars now, because this is it. It's staying out. So when I came back to it, I decided that I was going to stitch around the hoop section in the middle and then just work the pages round going out. This cream. Got bored with it. There's a very tiny bit to do. I've still got a letter to do. Finish off. Those letters, there are so many different colours, and oh, that was confetti. Actually, this is all confetti. What am I talking about? This is the regular size version in the regular amount of colours. I think it was 90. I've seen a finish. If you look up Beading Buddy on Instagram, she finished hers this year. She did the regular size max colours. It looks awesome. I don't have the patience to be juggling 200 and something colours. I have another project which hasn't been worked on for a couple of years that is over 115 colours. Might even be more than that. And even that is, I don't know, I just have a mental block over 100 colours. It's weird. You're only ever using one colour at a time. It's just having that much out. I don't know. I'll have to look at how I do that. But yeah, max colour. This already has a lot of confetti in it. Max colour must be immense amounts of colour changing. You get a lovely depth of colour, and there's some bits that look more detailed because for the extra colours. I'm fine with how I stitch. So I thought I'll just stick with this. It still looks great. So, yeah, after hoop, I thought I want to come down to the winter section because I like the winter colours best. So, let's zoom in on her. So I stitched this page, comes to about there, and when I was stitching her face, I stitched one colour at a time, and I started with the kind of orangey colours, and it had just come out of the cinema again. And really, she looked like the clown. It was just the oranges. So once I filled in the other flesh colours, she looked a lot better. I mean, there's no detail because it's tiny, look. She's the size of my fingernail. You're not going to be able to see eyelashes and makeup. That's not how that works. This is 28 Camp Monaco, and it's not gridded. So I was putting gridding lines in. But then I decided once I finish this page, I will put page numbers into a tiny decisions wheel. And the rules that I come up with was that the page had to be near another page, and it had to work from the top. But at the time, I hadn't got either of these top two pages in. So I couldn't work out I couldn't go side to side anymore. So only working within these two columns until these were done. I did that, and it chose the page underneath. So tiny partial page, nice. Snow, how many colours are in snow? Oh, it's not just white. It's pinks and blues and greens because everything fades into the snow. But that's good because white. It's almost as bad as cream. So after that, I span the wheel again. I didn't add in any new pages because I reached the bottom. I think I had this one as a possibility. And then it chose this one up here, page 6 if I remember rightly. Bunny was already done, he was done from another page. So it was the first time I got to work on those pink flowers. Oh, they are so full of confetti as well. think that's a bird's nest with some eggs in. You can just see a lady starting to appear. Finished that page, span again, went on to page 5. And this page was the one I was most worried about doing, because when I'd done the bottom bit here, there were so many colour changes. So I knew this page was going to be full of confetti. And it is. But for this page I had Pattern Keeper. This is a thing. I love it. I love the Pattern Keeper app. It was designed by a stitcher. So it's not designed to be just a PDF reader that we can use for stitching. No, this was made by a stitcher. Someone who knows what we want to do. Brilliant. She's a genius. So that's why we have the wibbly edge here, because I've gone into the next page. So, page finished. And the pages that we can choose from now are page 7 and page 4. And page 46. Oops, where am I? Oh no, wrong side. Page 46 underneath the cap. So, more of this room here. And it chose that one. So when I come back to this next, I'll be working down here. So 2020 plans. For the last week of the month, I will be working on stitching time. Finally it's coming into the rotation. I was going to do a Mirabilia, but then I just faced up to the thing that I just want to stitch on this. Want this in my rotation. So, the thoughts are that for the last week of every month, last 7 days in the month, I will work on this. How far through the year I get, I'm not sure. It would be nice to be able to do all 12 months on the same thing. This one can be infuriating and frustrating. And every so often I think I don't want to do this. That will be okay. I have other stuff that I can work on in that week. So the intention is to do 12 months, but I'm not putting that pressure on myself. Again, with any of my rotation, it can change. It changes as I need it to change to fit in with my life. We had a chunk of the year missing, while I could only stitch in one tiny confined space, so I couldn't have everything out. And that was nice, because it gave me a break from those, and it gave me the opportunity to work on this, and I got 4 pages finished. Possibly 5, I can't remember. But, on my notes, 4 pages. So, I can do it. I know I can do it, and I do enjoy doing it. When I get there, I have Pattern Keeper now to keep me on track with where the colours are, so I don't go symbol blind. And that's been probably one of the best things of the year. The best thing of the year is having a totally new inside house, and that's amazing. And I never thought I would be so excited about it, but my craft rooms, I've got one window to be replaced. We're so close to the finish. We're not quite there. And once that's done, and once I've had someone in to sort out what blinds I'm going to have up at the window, how I'm going to do that, once that's finished, that's finished. And already my craft rooms feel so nice, and it's so much easier to keep clean because we've got rid of all the carpets. The cat's not happy about that. But we've got rid of carpets, so it's just like sweep the floors over to get rid of all the loose bits of sewing thread and stuff. But apart from that, the other big thing from this year is rediscovering, re-falling in love with a stitch in time, because it's an amazing piece. This is going to hang in my craft room once I finished it, because it's all about the craft, isn't it? It's a celebration of what we do. So it would be an awesome piece for that. It's going to take years. Let's face it, even 12 months. If I do half a page a month, I mean 6 pages, that's nice. There's 60 pages in total. I think I've done 10. So we're getting there. And there's lots of partials. I've only done one partial at the moment. There's lots to do. So I don't think I will ever be at the point where this will become a 2-week focus. It's too intense for that. I like to be able to stitch it and put it down. And to be honest, Eternal Promise is quite easy. So it's nice to have like this intense focus piece that I do for 1 week, knowing that I'm then going to switch over to something relatively easier like Eternal Promise for 2 weeks. So there we are. See more of this next year. And I'll probably do more Stitch With Me videos on this because I think everyone loves seeing all the different colours. It's so bright and vibrant. I did mention that I gridded myself. The last page I did not grid. I worked off grid. And, didn't make the mistakes. I didn't need the grid. I didn't need that safety net. And I like working on 28 count Monaco. So maybe I don't need to grid. And maybe I can just use this fabric more often. I've got lots of gridded fabric. I've got lots of fabric to use, so I will use it. But yeah, I can stitch without a grid if I need to. I can totally do that. So yeah, we'll see how, before I get myself in a complete lather with it and need to grid this page. But no, I'll be fine. I can do it. I work in smaller sections. So if I was doing cross country by page, a colour at a time, I would so need it. But I hate all those tiny little holes, so not a way for me for working. So, there we are. Stitching time, Amy Stewart, Heaven and Earth Designs. One you'll probably see quite a bit of. No, I'm not going to start Once Upon a Fairy Tale. So I've got enough with this shelf. So, other things I have done this year, and started this year. I think the next 2 things are bits I've started. Now, this is kind of full coverage, but not full coverage because of the filigree bit around the frame. This is Unicorn. The artist is Lorna Lane, and it's a kit by Gecko Rouge. Basically, it's a picture of a unicorn, and at the bottom it says, "I don't believe in humans." I like the comment. So it's one of these all over the shaped ones. So I found a starting point. I think that's actually page 3. So I finished a page, went back to page 2, mostly done that. Oh, that frame is full of confetti. There's still gaps, I still need to fill colours in. That's not finished yet. When it is, I can do that middle bit, which will be nice. And then I've got to do the other side as well. And then top's done. I'm going to stitch on this one now. This will be for the last few days of 2019 because I finished my page on a little light reading and I didn't fancy doing any more of the cream. So stitching this one. There's no plans for this in 2020 other than if I get bored of stitching time, it might come out for the week now and then. Or if I need something small, just drag out, just work a couple of days on. Is a go-to. So 25 count Magic Guide 1/1 full cross. And see if I can do this without keep switching this off and on. Again, there's not a lot to show here. This is another Gecko Rouge kit. This is Nightmare. It's by the artist Medusa Dollmaker, the same artist who did Gamer Nouveau. And it is Nightmare Before Christmas. You can't see that yet. I've only done one page. I think this was while I was stuck upstairs and I think we were trapped with watching telly in the bedroom at the time, so the light wasn't great. So I started this. because kits are free starts according to my husband. Sorry about that. So I started it and just worked on the lighter purple. There's a bit of zero there coming in. Again, no plans unless I need something to take a break. So, bit of a costume fit there. So that's it really. That's 2019. Most of my plans for 2020. I'm going to carry on with my 30 minutes in the mornings, raw cross stitches. Just the little prim things. I've got some samplers I want to stitch. I'm not sure when I'm going to fit things in, but I'll find a way. And on New Year's Day I'm having a new start. This was born of, it gets cold in my downstairs stitching corner, but I want to be downstairs stitching in front of the telly, so some points I'm going to stitch on the sofa. 25 count is a bit small because I don't have great light, and it's a very old house, so we don't have a lot of power outlets, so I can't plug a lamp in. So I've got some 18 count, easy count Ada, and I'm going to start a Face of Fairy on New Year's Day. It's Face of Fairy 185, she's the red ninja type with the dragon. Once I get a picture of her I'll show you, don't have anything handy at the moment. That's just an as and when I'm sitting on the sofa. Sometimes when my husband's out, the cat prefers me to sit on the sofa with him, he settles more. It's his age, he's 17. He likes his comfort and he likes knowing that there's a human nearby. So yeah, so when I'm stuck on the sofa I will have that to stitch. And I think that's it. Weekends, death by cross stitch in the mornings. Now that that's all sorted out, I am halfway through, so I have 8 pages left to do. When I did a count up, I think I'd done 3 pages on that this year, and that was before that had to be put away, so we'll see. I want to get it done because I've got a nice place for it when I get it framed. I've already got its spot lined up, and it has been for years actually. And yeah, that's it from me. So that's it for 2019. Looking forward to a very stitchy 2020. And I hope that everyone's plans and everything that you wanted for 2019 has happened. There's been a lot of things happening that no one wants to happen. So do as much of what you want to do as you can. Try to always find time for yourself. It helps everyone else if you're happy with yourself. So that's it for me. Have a great 2020. And hopefully I'll be back each month with lots more stitching to show you. And at some point late in 2020, I'm still thinking October, maybe September, mostly October, I'll be back with a finished video of Eternal Promise. And then we'll have to work out what I'm going to do with the rotation then. But I know what I'm doing for now. So I'm going to get on with some stitching. I'm going to get on with this. Oh, I've got to edge your fabric for my new start. I should do that first. I hate prep. So, see you soon. Bye.